Version 0.21 of Empires of the Undergrowth Early Access is out now. Let's have a quick look at the new features. The focus of this update is an overhaul of freeplay mode. Here's the updated menu. Here you can see some presets that I've made by saving some favourite setups. I can also export the setups and copy them to my clipboard to share. In the advanced settings you'll find quite a few new options, such as creative mode that makes everything free, and here we have optional victory conditions. When a victory condition is active, you'll see it in the top left of the screen, like you would an objective in a story mission. There's 6 victory conditions to choose from, such as hunting uber creatures or surviving a number of attack waves. Play the way you like. We've now brought Leafcutter ants to freeplay, with their unique fungus farming lifestyle intact. If you play as a Leafcutter colony, many of the landmarks that spawn on the surface will be leaf patches for you to harvest from. To celebrate Leafcutters in freeplay, we're also adding in a new jungle-themed map, Embankment. Survive the Ecuadorian jungle in this wide map split in two by a forest stream. The stream has 3 crossings, forming natural choke points to keep things interesting. Combined with the rainforest ambience and music, it's the perfect setting to try out Leafcutters in freeplay. Freeplay difficulty now works a little differently than it used to. In the old setup, a higher difficulty would mean more enemies spawning, but the new system will instead spawn more powerful enemies. Their size will correlate with their strength, so you'll be able to see at a glance what you're up against. All enemies will scale, including uber creatures. Speaking of ubers, they've all undergone some changes and rebalances to reinforce their own unique strengths and weaknesses. As anyone who's played freeplay before will tell you, hearing the announcement of one of these monsters spawning is always a scary moment. Of course we want ubers to be frightening, but they should feel fairer now, and should no longer spell a definite end to a freeplay run for a decently prepared colony. Outside of the changes to freeplay mode, there's also some new content. Firstly, we've added a challenge mode to levels 3-1 the Harvest and 3-2 Frontline. If you're playing these with the challenge active, your Leafcutters will face an additional menace. The tiny, but potentially devastating Phorid flies. The flies infest vegetation. Any ant in range becomes a potential target. An egg is laid on the victim, and a grisly death awaits it. As the larva develops, it eats into the innards of the ant, slowing it down and inevitably killing it. The solution? Upgrade your forces. Level 3 Mediae and Mages will carry a tiny friend or two with them. These minims along for the ride will bat off the Phorid fly's attack, and if they do that, they'll send it packing. A group of fully upgraded Mediae or Mages can clear out an infested patch, making it safe for the rest of the colony. This update also sees the first release of what will, from now on, be a regular feature: Extra Levels. These are independent missions that are not part of the main campaign. The first of these, Aggrandise. Your mission? Take down the huge whip spider. Start with your Formica erecta colony in the centre of the map, expanding with intelligence and caution to build up enough forces to take on the big guy. For the first time in the game, this mission will give your Gene Thief colony control of trapjaw ants. These powerful units can fling themselves out of combat when low on health, healing as they do. This gives them considerable survivability for their size. There are no tricks in Aggrandise. No surprise nest invasions, or unexpected mole crickets dropping from above. Just your knowledge of the game versus the level. Aggrandise is relatively simple as far as what we've got in the works for these missions goes. There's some fun stuff planned, so keep an eye on our social media to see what's coming next. The first batch of achievements has been added to the game. 28 of them for now, mostly for the first Formicarium tier, and we'll be adding more over time. And yes, it was fun getting 5 of these at once while recording this video. Finally, it's well worth mentioning the Movement and Pathing code rewrite that's taken up most of our recent time. We've rewritten from scratch code that's been in the project from the very beginning, replacing default functions with our own bespoke ones. It's really difficult to overemphasise just how fundamental a change this has been for the project, especially considering that it'll be very nearly an invisible one. The immediate performance increase and the future increase in army sizes that these changes will allow will mean that it's been time well spent. Thanks for playing 0.21 of Empires of the Undergrowth Early Access. Those are the major features. See the link in the description for the full patch notes. Enjoy!